We will talk about bridging real asset and capital markets through the regulated infrastructure that they are building. We'll talk about structural inefficiencies in traditional real estate markets, including illiquidity, fragmented ownership structures, and limited capital access. Ravi and Samuel, that you'll meet in a moment, the chairman and the CFO will discuss how the group is building an integrated platform designed to modernize real assets participation through regulated financial infrastructure. And we will talk about the group's ecosystem, including real estate development, capital deployment, and the TradeREA Exchange, which connects institutional investors with real-world assets through compliant market frameworks. By aligning the physical assets economics with regulated capital markets, the platform aims to improve transparency, liquidity, and capital formation while maintaining strong governance and regulatory needs. So, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Maybe if you could kindly introduce yourselves, your position in the company, and where you are. And I believe most of you are in Canada. I'm not sure if all of you, but yeah, so please, maybe we'll start with Samuel.
Thank you, Danny. My name is Samuel Babarinde. I'm the chairman of the company, Egolia Group, with two various other divisions that we're gonna talk about later on. But yeah, so my name is Samuel, and then I can pass it on to Jason.
And you are where, Samuel? In Toronto?
I'm in Toronto, yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be today. I'm the CFO for the group. Been with the company since last year, and my background is in public companies and trying to take companies public. Today's presentation will provide an overview of where the company is today, where it's going, and how we are trying to change the real estate landscape within Canada and the United States. And because it's an IT type platform, also globally. So looking forward to going through the presentation with everybody today. Thank you.
Thank you. Ravi?
We have Adrian.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is good morning, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ravi Thakur. I'm the vice chair. Very excited to be part of this webinar and speaking about the platform TradeREA. Shortly, you will hear, and the Egolia, the diversification, what solution we are bringing to the marketplace. Very excited to be part of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ravi. Hello, everybody. My name is Adrian Perry. I'm the CEO of TradeREA and Egolia. You might tell from my accent that I'm British. I left the UK some 30 years ago. I've worked for 40 years in public and private sectors, from banking to management and marketing, and also a bit of technology. I'm based in Zug, Switzerland, and my role as CEO is a good one. I really enjoy it. I've been with the company for just over 6 months now. Thank you.
Elaine?
Yep. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Egolia and TradeREA, and I come with over 20 years in the real estate industry. And I'm also based out of Toronto, Canada.
Excellent. Matthew?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew. I'm the project coordinator. I support Egolia across business development, investor outreach, and marketing strategy. I have a background in finance and capital markets.
Great. Last but not least, Edmund.
Hey, good day to everybody.
Yeah.
So my name is Edmund Hall. I'm originally from the Bahamas, but I'm based in Canada now also. And I come from a finance background. I've had about 5 years in finance previously, and I've been with the company for a couple months now.
Excellent.
Great. So maybe we'll start with a couple of questions. If you can share with us how the firm has become a significant development company in Ontario, what does that really mean to be? What are you doing? What kind of projects? For how many years? And tell us, share a little bit more about the journey of the company and where it stands today.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, can you give me access so I can share my screen?
Of course. And I
Thank you.
will mention that we've been in Canada for quite a while. So Canada is a main market of ours. So I'm sure we have lots of folks here from the Canadian market. Let me see. Regarding the share settings, I'm not sure why it doesn't allow me here, but maybe you can start to share a little bit of information while I figure out why I don't see that. I think they might have changed something here.
Sure, no problem. Like I said earlier, my name is Samuel, the founder of Egolia Group and other divisions, which is Abrams Corp Development, as well as TradeREA Technology. We started out from Abrams Corp in 2016 as a small developer. We started off as custom home landscape contractor. And from there, we went through a joint venture partnership with all the developers. We started working on custom homes as well as small development. In 2020, we did our first acquisition under Abrams Corp brand, and that's a 5-story, 150 units condominium project here in Toronto, in Ontario. It's the town is located in Mayford, which is 2 hours from Toronto. And from there, that really gave us the experience to learn the landscape of development and get the gist of how development works from start to finish. But from there, I would love to show you the picture of the project, and hopefully once the screen is active, I can do that. And then from there, during COVID, we really went to work in acquisitions. We did 7 major acquisitions across Ontario. These are landmark acquisitions. We have one major acquisition here in Toronto, which is a 16-acre property. We purchased the property from Ukraine Catholic Church, who moved out of the property. And the plan for that project, let me see if I can share my screen.
You should be able to show your screen. Yeah, I don't know. They
Perfect.
changed it.
Perfect. Yeah, I can share my screen now. Great. Okay. So, like I said earlier, our first acquisition was this project here. We acquired this project in 2020, and we went to work and try to get all the sales, permits necessary for this development, which we've gotten. We have this project is 80% sold out, which happened during COVID also. So we were very busy during COVID. Furthermore, we acquired more projects. Give me one second. A prominent project now is the one in Toronto. We have 16-acre, like I was saying earlier. The plan is to put this project here in Toronto, in the middle of Toronto. The 16-acre property, we're looking to put about 2,400 units in the prominent area of Toronto, which we're currently going through development at the moment. So this is basically the conceptual design for this project. We have another project in Ottawa, which is 100-acre property, though this may not have been updated on our website. That's going to be 3,000 units in Ottawa. And we're in the process of purchasing another 500 acres, potentially for 15,000 homes. So I think right now, as we speak, we have about 7,000 units in our disposal within our portfolio, and we're looking to add another 15,000 to the 7,000 units. So we're going to be in a range of 22,000 units by the end of this year that we'll be working on. The major problem that we've encountered with the market is lack of liquidity in real estate. We have our investors that invested with us that wanted to exit the project because obviously they've been in the project for a long time and they want the money back, but unfortunately they cannot exit because there's no secondary market for real estate. So the only exit is for them to wait until the project is completed. But due to lack of liquidity in the market, it's really hard to get construction financing to build this project. Vast majority of this project are shovel ready. We have permits for 3 of these projects, but unfortunately we can't hit the ground. We can't break ground because of lack of liquidity, lack of construction financing. The market is really at a standstill at the moment. So that's what led us to create TradeREA. TradeREA is a technology. Think of NASDAQ of real estate. NASDAQ of real estate. We knew that there's a lot of investors within real estate that would want to exit at any given time throughout the development. I mean, construction does take about 3 to 5 years on an average. And I'm sure there's a lot of investors that would like to exit during that course of construction or development during that lifespan, but unfortunately aren't able to do so. So we created NASDAQ of real estate, which is TradeREA, to grant an opportunity for these investors to exit development and construction at any given time they choose to. Furthermore, we created 3 other solutions. Right now, the first solutions we created is for first home buyer. I'm not sure exactly how things are in your jurisdictions where you reside, but here in Canada, one thing we've noticed, and the market knows very well, is the impediment for first home buyers to get into home ownership. There's a huge impediment. There's 20% down payment. Houses are very expensive here in Canada. I think average home, a detached home in Canada is averaging about $1 million. So to come up with a down payment of 20%, it's quite a big impediment for a lot of younger people, coming out of university or just starting their family. So that a lot of people, my generation and Gen Z generation are having to live with their parents, which is quite impossible for these families to handle. So we created a method for people to be able to raise equity towards this down payment on our exchange. You can come in, you see a property you like, no problem. We can tokenize 20% equity for you and raise that down payment. Now, you're going to be a partner within that raise. So if you have, for example, you got to come up with $100,000, but you only have $25,000 out of the $100,000 down payment, you're going to become a partner in that transaction. So you're going to have the co-partners who would come up with the rest of the balance, and you guys can co-own the property together in form of tokenization. Now you're going to be living in the property, so you're going to be responsible to pay the mortgage on the property. Now we can also tokenize the 80% mortgage for you as well. So you have the debt and you have the equity. We can raise debt, we can raise equity. Like I said earlier, you're going to be responsible in paying the 80% mortgage to the investors that contribute towards the debt offering, while the investors that contribute towards the equity offering will be banking on the long-term return, which is the appreciation of the property over time, 3 to 5 years. So that's what we created here for first home buyers. The second solution we created here is for homeowners. There's a lot of folks that worked really hard throughout their lives, paid off their property, and then now they're at the point where they need a little bit of equity to buy a home, to buy a car, or maybe they want to renovate their home. But due to lack of sustainable income, the banks are turning them away. They aren't able to get, financing on their homes or line of credit. A lot of people talk about this reverse mortgage that people could get. I think this is the new thing in Canada. Retired folks are beginning to learn about this, but unfortunately, it's not easily accessible. So what we created here for homeowners is the ability, again, to raise equity through the sale of, equity in their home. Like I'm talking about percentage. So if you wanted to raise $100,000, for example, and your home is worth about $1 million, all paid for, you could sell 10% ownership in your home for that $100,000. And there's always an opportunity to buy back that 10% over time. So you can buy back the 10% by obviously paying the $100,000 back and some based on appreciation to those investors. The third one we created here is investors themselves. There's a huge impediment. We're targeting both institutional investors as well as retail investors. There's a huge impediment for retail investors to get into the investment of real estate, particularly construction financing opportunities and other product that may exist within real estate. Why? Because the entry barrier is very high. Most of this product are starting from $1 million contribution, entry contribution, or $5 million. It depends on the sort of offering and the sort of program that you're looking at. So this really limits this great opportunity to your institutional investors and family offices. What we try to do here is we try to open it up to retail as well as institutional investors to participate in these great offerings and low risk offers. The fourth one we created here is towards developers. Developers have to obviously work hard, which is one of the things we are facing right now. The lack of liquidity in obtaining construction financing, the lack of liquidity in land acquisitions, loans, as well as the impediment in selling our inventory. So we're sitting on 7,000 units, like I said earlier, and we're going to go through a lot of marketing. We're going to burn through a lot of cash to sell those units. Why? Because we got to pay thousands, if not millions of dollars in marketing. You got to build a fancy sales office. You got to pay your agents thousands of dollars in sales commissions. So what we do with our technology here is to simplify that process where a developer can list its offering or its inventory onto a platform, and our platform through AI matching would automatically link all this inventory to the potential buyers that we have on our platform. The plan is to acquire about 1 million users at year 3, between year 3 and year 5. So we're going to have a set defined investors on our platform that are looking for this inventory. So the moment a developer unlists the product on our platform, those units will be matched with those investors without any hassle, without paying thousands of dollars in broker fees, and without building fancy sales office, $1 million fancy sales office to sell the units. So these are basically, in a nutshell, the 4 solutions that we're offering to the market. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a quick presentation of our technology. The technology is available. It's ready to go. We're looking to launch in July. We've worked tirelessly over the last year in developing this product from scratch. Our technology is backed by 9 patents, which I can show you here very briefly. We got 9 patents. We've developed our own ATS, which is alternate trading system, similar to what you use on TSX and NASDAQ. And we have patents around liquidity layer. We have patents around custody layer. We have patents that surround identity recovery, which does not require a password. This is very new and novel. It doesn't exist anywhere. And we have patents around pricing. One of the main themes in real estate is volatility. We are trying to avoid volatility on our platform because, capital market is really based on whatever the market decides. Unfortunately, we cannot allow that in real estate because the market, what dictates the market is the appraised value, not the market particularly. So we want to make sure our pricing are backed by appraisal, not speculative pricing by individual investors. So this is what our patent is based on. We have 9 patents in total. Ultimately, the plan is the 9th patent that we have here is to back our tokens with gold. Ultimately, we are working with different gold mines across different jurisdictions in the world, and we try to acquire as much gold as possible and that we can put in reserve and back our tokens with. So our token will be backed by real estate and gold with over time, hopefully within the next 5 years. That's our plan. So just to give you a little background, we have 9 patents there. But we have, now, if I'm going to show you our technology, this is your portfolio. So here you're going to see the total portfolio you have invested in. You've invested $1 million all across different portfolios. You've bought tokens across 5, 10 different projects across the world. This will show here. It'll also tell you how much token you're holding. So if you're holding total 10,000 tokens, you see across all different projects, you see that here, 10,000 tokens. Now, here, this is one of the projects that I've invested into. This is a demo, obviously, and I'm going to show you how we went about doing this as we move forward. So here you have you're holding 10,000 tokens in this project. And by the way, the transaction is very transparent on the blockchain. So you can see, you can click here, which we can bank on that transparency, which is one of the things we're trying to leverage on. You can see the purchase price here of this token. So you invested $10,000 into this project. You acquired 10,000 token at $1. Over time, you're going to see that the $1 itself would appreciate in value. So you're going to see the market price here and the market value for your investment. Once you see that, you're going to see the yield that you've generated, and you can sell that on the capital market. So I'm going to come back to this at a later stage. I'm just going to give you a very brief introduction to each of the categories. Now let's go to primary market. Primary market is where you purchase into projects. Like I said earlier, there's two ways to invest into projects. There's bond offering and there's an equity offering. You could do that. Whoever invests into the bond offering, these guys are looking for a return on investment. They're looking for a monthly return on investment. Sorry, Danny, you have any question?
You're asking me? I have lots of questions, but I want you to finish your presentation on what you guys do. Are you done with that? We can continue with the follow-up questions.
Okay, I'm going to run through this very quickly. Give me about 5 minutes, and then we can go through questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, there's two parts to our ways to raise capital. You can raise capital in form of bond or equity. Whoever contributes towards bond offering are looking for a monthly yield, or like a monthly interest. So we have two projects, for example. These are our projects that we are working on as a developer. We try to raise capital for. So here you can see, you go on this, you go on project page, you can see the pictures of the project. Very clear. And then you can see the detail of the offering. So this is 8.7% annual yield, 24 months term, and the amount we try to raise, which is 15 million. You can see the overview of the project here. You can see the documentation of the project here, offer memorandum. You can see the appraisal. You can see subscription agreement. Everything is visible to investors. One of the major things that we created here also is the milestones. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a huge impediment in lack of liquidity in real estate. So people will stock in the project until completion of the project. What we created here is an opportunity for people to come out in and out of the project throughout the span of development. So if you came in at, let's say, land acquisition, you purchased 10,000 tokens at $1. Once we get to zoning and approvals, which is the major milestone within the development, the value of the property itself would triple or go up in value, whatever multiplier. And that would trickle down to your token. So if you bought a token here at $1, the token value would go up once we get our permits. It may go up to $1.50. And then you can trade your token to another investor, and you can exit at that moment and let somebody else come in and sell your token and get your profit. So I'm going to show you how that's done on the secondary market. You can hold on to your token until you get a milestone 5, for example, and then you can sell your token at milestone 5 and let somebody else come in and replace you and so forth. That's how we intend to create liquidity and velocity within real estate. It doesn't exist in today's market globally. The first noble way of doing it. Like I said earlier, we have other patents that is really geared straight into a pricing and price information. But this is something that's highly novel. We have a formula within our patent that doesn't exist. We actually had to make this formula from scratch through our team of experts. And it took a long time to try to come up with a workable formula, but we do have one now. which is already pending at the moment. And we're happy to go through that with you in detail as we go. But this formula, the pricing information, really controls the volatility of your token price to basically avoid pump and dump within the system, and also avoid to ensure the investors make money and not lose money, based on your token holdings. Because these are security holdings we're talking about. So it's very important for, to avoid any volatility within the market. So I'm going to go through our primary market quickly and show you how you can invest.
And by the way, before maybe, Samuel, just a word about the project, because when we spoke, you mentioned that this specific project, the West got considerable attention. So just before you go on, can you just explain what happened with that specific project, why it got so much attention, and the implication on the surrounding community?
Sure. So this is the prominent project. It's a 16 acres in the city of Toronto. I can go on a map and show you very quickly. Okay.
And then maybe go and explain how the model continues and works for all the other projects as well.
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay. So this is the prominent part of Toronto. Let me just get the lights.
And that's the project you just showed us that you're raising capital for.
That's correct. Yes, I'm just trying to locate the property. Okay, perfect. So this is the property here. We purchased this whole property in 2023. Right now, the property currently has a community center on it. It has 40,000 square feet building on it, which is currently rented to the city of Toronto. So city of Toronto is currently renting its property for about $1 million a year. So we have $1 million income. We have all this land at the back here, which is currently used as playing field. And we have another section here. Our plan for this development is to turn this into a townhouse development. This is our phase one. I believe this is what you saw on the offering, which is this right here. This project. So this is a 50-unit exclusive development, which has 4-story building. You have almost 3,000 square feet, which again is unheard of in Toronto. Usually townhouses are within the range of 1,500 square feet to 1,300 square feet to 1,500 square feet. We deliberately did this at 3,000 because we divided the units into 2 livable space. You got ground floor and basement, 3 bedrooms within the ground floor and basement, and then you got almost 4 bedrooms at the top, including the master bedroom and the terrace. So it's a very exclusive development for exclusive investors. So that's that one. That's phase one. Our phase two is this right here, which we talked about. So this is going to be 5 towers. You're going to have some level of affordable units, affordable housing units within this development to help within the city, as well as luxury hotels and condos within the development. So there's a prominent development here in Toronto.
Thank you.
Okay. Now back to my presentation.
Yes, sorry about that. I just wanted to mention that because this is an exceptional project amongst the others that you guys have here. So I wanted the proper attention.
No problem. Thank you. So the plan here is to raise $50 million for this project to pay off our mortgage. We want to be mortgage free at lower costs. So we're going to raise $50 million in equity and pay off the mortgage in form of Reg A, D, and S. This, I'm sure if you, for those that may be familiar with the regulations in the States, you have Regulation S for international investors. You have Regulation D, which is for institutional investors, accredited investors, and you have Regulation A, A+, which is for your retail investors. So we're going to try to merge all 3 together and raise the capital that's required. So this is how it works. Here you have, if you want to put in $1 million, for example, of investment, it'll show you right off the bat what your monthly income would be. This will be paid directly into your wallet on a monthly basis, and you can extract that from your wallet into your bank account. It tells you what your yearly yield would be and what the end yield would be. So obviously we talk about 8.7% ROI, 5 years. Like I said earlier, even though this is for 5 years, you can exit at any given time throughout the development. So you can go to the secondary market, which I'll show you in a minute. You can trade your investment for somebody else to come in if you choose to exit at any given time. So you're not stuck. So we continue. The $1 million Canadian will buy you $704,000 US, and it'll get you 704,000 tokens. So you see that, you go through your prompt. We have wallet. Money could be deducted directly from your wallet, or it could be deducted through fiat. So you can make a payment through your credit card, your bank account directly, and buy the tokens. So this is the investment submitted. You've invested, you have 704,000 tokens, and that would show right off the bat. It will show here within your portfolio that you've acquired 700,000 tokens at $1, and you just basically wait for approval from our dealer broker to approve this, and then you can proceed. And you're going to see that in your portfolio and wallet. Now, because we have different milestones, this is milestone 1. You've come in at land acquisition at $1. Once we get a milestone 5 or milestone 3 or milestone 2, the value will go up from $1 to maybe $1.20 or $1.50. Then if you choose to sell, you can come here and sell your tokens. So now you want to sell token to sell. You want to sell, let's say 110,000 tokens out of your portfolio. Here, the market would dictate what the price is. It's not going to be dictated by you. But right now, just for demo purposes, you can see that. So you can sell portion of your investment, or you can sell entire investment as you choose. This is secondary market. And you can create a sell offering, which is here. You come, you click continue, and that would appear directly on the capital market. So just let me see here. Do not have enough settled yet. Purchase is still okay. So the purchase is currently is waiting for an approval from dealer broker. But I can show you on the secondary market how that goes. So here, you've created a sell order for that particular token, security token, because obviously this is still in a demo mode. You cannot see an activity. We're hoping to launch next month, and you're going to start seeing a lot of graphical activity moving on your screen. But right now, you can see the order that's been created, and this order will be basically waiting for a buyer to participate and then close the order. So that's how this works. Very easy, friendly, user-friendly, and easy to understand. You can see there's a lot of detail, different projects, different tokens that you can buy, you can sell at any given time, and exit. So I can show you more. Obviously, this is just a brief introduction. This is your wallet, so you can deposit cash directly from your bank account through stable. We also have you can use stablecoin from Binance, from Coinbase, other exchanges. You can use your wallet as well from other. You can use MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet. You can move money in and out, on ramp, on and off ramp. We've made it very easy for users to participate within the process.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just wrapping up. I know there may be a lot of questions that you may want to ask, so please go ahead. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have questions in different devices here. That's why I'm getting them also on my WhatsApp. So one is asking the projects that we're talking about. They are only these projects right now in Canada or all around the place? What are the plans for the cities or the areas where you guys going to expand to? Or you see that as something that will allow people to access deals from all around the world at some point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is a global platform. It's a global exchange. You can list your project globally. We're going to be working very closely with developers in Canada, United States, as well as the Middle East and Asia. Once we open, I think we're starting with our own portfolio first. We have about $200 million in float that we could put on this platform day one, utilizing our projects, and then we can onboard other developers as we go along. I think we've potentially identified about $2 billion worth of float within the first 2 years that we're going to list on the platform.
So one of our attendees is asking, is this approved by the Securities Commission?
Correct. We are working very closely with our partner, Texture Capital. Texture Capital is a broker-dealer in the United States. They operate a licensed ATS. So our system is integrated with their system. They are the US compliance part of this. They deal with all the compliance. The great thing about our partner is one of the owner of the partner of the company actually sits on a committee within SEC. So he knows the rules, is very adverse with what needs to be done with the SEC and how to be regulatory compliant. So that's through our partnership with Texture Capital.
Where were you doing the appraisal? Are the patents granted? And let's start with those two questions here.
So the appraisals will be done by a reputable company. I mean, we have a relationship with Cushman Wakefield at the moment. We're going to strike a partnership with them and hopefully get them on board. But I think we try to open it up to various well-known appraisal companies. So CBRE, Cushman Wakefield, and so forth. All the big names. Because based on liability insurance, we need to use a recognizable company. Sorry, what's the second question?
The patents, are they granted?
Yes, so the patents are currently pending. We filed the patent, I believe, last year in November. So right now they're still pending, and we're hoping to get our valid approval by hopefully end of this year.
How close are you to getting regulated?
How close are we to get regulated?
Yes, that's one of the questions from, I see, Michael.
Okay, this is a highly regulated industry. We're talking about security tokens here. So it is regulated, and that's why we have our broker-dealer who administers your KYC and who does everything on the back end, including your matching order book, which is the alternate trading system, the ATS. They manage all that. Our broker-dealer manages all that through their license, the broker-dealer license in the United States. So we do not get involved in any of the transaction on the back end. Our dealer brokers handle that. And are within the regulatory compliance space.
These are the questions I see right now from our attendees. I had a lot of questions, but I think we talked about most of them in your presentation. And I have a couple of others, but maybe before that, I'll ask any one of your team if they have anything to add to what you shared with us so far. Anything else you'd like to add from your perspective?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give our CFO an opportunity to talk about the financial aspect of it. I've talked about technology. I've talked about our development arm. So our CFO can come in and talk about the financials and stuff like that, forecast for the next 5 years.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason, just feel free to share your screen. You can share your screen and pull up the presentation.
I have another couple of questions I see here, but we can go over it when we're done.
No problem.
So let me just summarize briefly what Sam has been going through. So our platform that we're developing, so our ask is we're raising money for the going live with the TradeREA platform. That platform, as Sam was summarizing in his presentation, accomplishes three things. It does origination, so loan origination or the equity raise that a developer may be looking for money. I'm just going to stay on this particular stream of revenue for us. And then secondly, it provides secondary trading. So if you imagine three different services that are out there right now, so you take the realestate.com or realestate.ca website and you smash it together with the TSX or the NASDAQ website, and then you add into that mortgage origination and the all the different entities that if you own a company or you're a public company or a mining company that you need to go to in order to raise money, you pull all that into one single platform, and that's what TradeREA is about, is that it becomes a single shop. So most of the development work is, let's call it 85% complete. By the time we go live, it'll be 100% complete. So the equity raise that we're putting to everybody today is effectively to raise working capital for the next 1 and 2 years. But by the end of year 3, we will be, yes, thank you. Go to about slide 8 or 9. Keep on going, please. A bit further. I know we're running short on time, so I want to get right onto point here. One more slide, please. Yes. Yeah, go back. Oh, the one with the graph on the left hand. Yes, that one right there. So the graph on the left-hand side is really indicative of what we've been financially modeling, in that the first 2 years, a lot of the projects that we will tokenize will be Averance related projects. And the reason for that is that it's going to take time for us to weed through all the applications for companies and developers that want to raise money. And so we need to make sure that we're bringing to market, reputable projects. And by the time we get to year 5, our year 5 numbers are, you can consider year 5 numbers to be similar to if we went out and from 50 states and 10 provinces attracted 2 projects in each one of those jurisdictions, we would hit the year 5 number. So we don't need to own the market at 100%. Our numbers are, I would say, realistic to borderline, maybe a bit more modest than we should have. But we needed to make sure that they're numbers that we can go out and hit. So years 1 and 2, we're ramping up and bringing forward and tokenizing Averance related real estate projects. And then by year 3, 4, and 5, we're really ramping up because we will have sorted out the projects that we feel our platform and the investors that like to use our platform are willing to finance. And you'll see that the growth becomes exponential. It starts to really, really ramp up. We've used some of our assumptions on the right-hand side there. The comment under cash generation metrics, I'll just kind of provide a little bit of color on that one. So we use a standard, just a 12.5 times cash flow multiple. So the cash per share improves from a negative 35 cents in year 1, and that's just based on a straight up formula that we used, through to the end of year 5, where we are using a 12.5 times multiple. And that's what's getting us to the market cap of $600 million plus. Next slide. One of the things that there's been a lot of questions around compliance, and so I just want to touch on that in the category of the box there called risk mitigation factors. I want to make sure it's really, really clear that what we're dealing with here is a company that is not like Bitcoin or many of the other wonderful cryptocurrency companies that we hear about. These are called asset-backed tokens. So they're actually backed with real assets, and they're not just a speculative investment. I can't even call them an investment, Bitcoin. But they're not a speculative investment. They are an asset-backed token. Just for some of the Canadians that might be on today's call, the Bank of Canada a couple months ago, with the support of several Canadian banks, did a similar project. It was a beta test where they tokenized the issuance of a 90-day bond. So this is the type of these are the types of regulations that we're dealing with. These are the same sort of regulations that you have for raising capital in the capital markets for a regular business. So we are not dealing with Bitcoin. We are not dealing with cryptocurrencies. We are dealing with asset-backed tokens. So the regulations that we have to follow are the same that you follow for a normal investment with Ontario Securities Commission or the SEC down in the States. Okay. Next slide.
And just leave me a room for like 5 minutes for another question.
Yeah. So I've said kind of my main couple of points that I really wanted to hammer home just on the regulations, because that seems to be a common question there, Denny. And I've done a quick summary of what the platform does in the cash flows that we expect to earn over time and how those are being derived. So they're not unrealistic assumptions. We believe we have significant upside from what we've presented. However, the markets have been not very nice right now around the world, particularly if you're into gold. It's been a tough market. So we've been somewhat conservative in our estimations. But I'll put it back to Sam because he might have a few concluding comments before you conclude, Denny.
Yes, I think the opportunity today, it's very important to highlight what the opportunity is. We are doing a pre-IPO raise at the moment. Our plan is to go on TSX. We have identified the company we're going to be merging with, and the parent company will be merging with the trading company on TSX within the next 90 days. We're going through our gap audit and our FRS audit in Canada. Hopefully that will be completed within the next 60 days, and then we can close our RTO. So right now we have an opportunity to sell, to do a pre-IPO raise at 50 cents. We do believe that this is a very conservative raise, just like Jason identified earlier. Our tangible assets alone right now, based on our real estate platform, exceeded around $50 million, between $50 and $80 million. And with the new acquisitions that we're looking at this year, adding 15,000 homes to our inventory, that's going to dramatically drop. That would dramatically double in value. So I think 50 cents is a very reasonable number, very conservative. And I think within the next 12 months, our plan is to do a major IPO on NASDAQ and uplist to NASDAQ. So which creates an opportunity for investors that come in today to really have an uplift within the next 12 months, 12 to 24 months on NASDAQ IPO.
I have a question here from Stephen. You mentioned that the tokens are backed by gold. So he's asking, where is the gold held? Is it tokenized gold? And if so, he would love to speak with you guys. So that's the question.
Right. The plan is to back our token with gold. We're looking at year 3 to start that activity. I think year 1, 2, 3 is going to be backed by real estate only for right now. And while we continue to work on various gold mine partnerships across various jurisdictions, we're looking at some gold mine in the United States. We're looking at some gold mine in Turkey, as well as some other jurisdictions within Africa. So once we're able to identify those partnerships, we're giving ourselves a solid 3 years to do that. And then hopefully by the end of 3 years, we're going to start the program of backing our tokens with real estate and gold.
Got it. So I think this is about it with our questions, unless anybody has anything else to ask. I wanted to ask where you see yourself 5 years from now. How would you see success? How would success look like for all the three entities here? Where do you see yourself? And then if you have any other questions, Stephen is also, by the way, asking how he can get in touch with you. So maybe you can also share that. And I'll say that everybody will get everybody who's here and everybody who registered to this webinar will get a copy of an email with the contact information as well as a link to this recording that will be later on online. But yeah, so back to my question: where you see yourselves in 5 years from now? And yeah, and any other remarks from anybody here?
Yeah, I think this is a very novel form that we created here. We do feel we're very conservative in our expectations. Like I said, the plan is to have about 1 million users within the next 3 to 5 years. Out of the million users, statistically, we believe that we're going to have about 12,000 active users, active trader on a daily basis. When you have 12,000 active users on a daily basis, our revenue really derived from that. And that's more of a very conservative number. I think in terms of float, we're looking to be floating about probably $15 billion on that platform by 5 years. And through our income generating mechanism, which is trading fees, transaction fee, platform fee, we're going to be generating a very healthy EBITDA. I mean, you can see on the screen here, we have revenue about $63 million EBITDA year 5. This is a very conservative number, but I'm very confident that the due to the unique proposition of this platform, that Nasdaq of real estate doesn't exist anywhere in the world. I'm very much convinced that the world would get on board, and our number of users may exceed 10 million. We predicting 1 million, but may easily exceed 10 million. We are working on collaborating with Coinbase. We're working on collaborating with Binance and all these other major exchanges. And everybody knows Coinbase have about 250 million users. So you can see where I'm going with this. So the opportunity is very clear. And I think most probably we're going to get some sort of exit or a buyout at 5 years by a major partner, which again will bring a very healthy return on investment to all our major investors.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate something that Sam said at the end. I would expect in 5 years that Egolia would not actually exist anymore. It would actually be bought by either a large bank that doesn't really want to meddle in this space at this time. The banks generally are very conservative institutions, but either a bank or probably a tech related company that wants to wade into this space, and they want something that's turnkey. So to echo Sam's comment, 5 years we pull this off right, and it's going to be an acquired company that's merged with something else.
Great. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
You can reach us directly. You can reach me. My name is Samuel Babarinde. You can reach me Samuel@egolia.com. That's Samuel@Egolia. That's EGO. I believe we probably have something here. EGOLIA, Egolia.com.
That's brilliant. Anything else anybody would like to add before we're letting you guys go and sending you again by tomorrow the link to this presentation? Anything else, Samuel or anybody else would like to add?
Maybe Adrian, you like to chime in as a conclusive statement?
Sure. I'd just like to say, Sam has given a great detailed presentation, and Jason has explained the financials. We're not necessarily here to sell you a concept. We're here to present a proven thesis. The tokenization of real world assets is no longer experimental. It's become a multi-billion-dollar industry. You've only got to look at companies like BlackRock, who are already in the sector. By 2030, leading financial analysts project that the tokenized real estate market alone could exceed $4 trillion US. So, we're going somewhere quite fast in a short time here, and it's very exciting. Thank you.